everyone. Thanks for joining us right here on Midday Kentucky. It is all about men's health, and we are over here at Mr. Cuts. How are is everyone? All men. It's all men here. There they all are, everyone, talking about men's health, and it's all about, for the month of November, men. Let me introduce you to Dr. Jeremy Stitch. How are you, my friend, from Access Med?
Doing great.
Now, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your business to begin with. Now, you're an MD.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about how your practice came about.
So it's an interesting question. It's an interesting concept. We're called direct primary care. And basically, we were the first ones in Central Kentucky to do this. But instead of operating out of an insurance model, we operate out of a subscription model. It's about $50 a month. Our patients get access to the clinic 24/7, unlimited visits, 24-hour call. There's no copays involved, and then we also dispense and purchase medications at wholesale and we pass that savings on to the patient. We do the same thing with labs. So in essence, it's kind of a one-stop shop for your primary care, urgent care, and preventative care needs for about $50 a month.
Okay, got you. So one of the misconceptions that you brought to my attention is that you can still have insurance and visit you.
Absolutely, most of our patients do, and we always recommend that our patients have some kind of backup catastrophic coverage.
All right, so we're talking about men's health here on Midday Kentucky, and I want to ask you, what are some of the health concerns that you see here for men in Kentucky?
Sure, there's lots and lots of health concerns, and unfortunately, one of the misconceptions that a lot of folks have is, hey, I'm 20 years old, I'm 30 years old, hey, I'm 40 years old, I'm healthy, I don't need to see a doctor.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes correct and sometimes not, but this isn't 1980 or 1970. Nowadays, we know a lot more about disease prevention. We know a lot about catching diseases and treating them early. And one of the biggest things we need to do is make men aware that their health is also of primary concern. We see a lot of moms, we see a lot of females, and we see a lot of kids who are brought into the clinic, but we don't see the dads as much.
Well, why aren't men coming in? What's the problem?
There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons, Troy. Number one, just the busyness of it. A lot of men...
Yeah, but women are just as busy.
They are.
If not busier.
They are, but men don't put it a priority. Women do. And that's the biggest thing is men say, I've got other things to worry about. This is the last thing I'm concerned about. I'll do it later. And they put it off and they put it off. And the females usually make the schedule and they do it better than guys do.
I think it's the women also that if they see their husbands not feeling well or they're just a little slightly off, they're the ones that are saying to their husbands or their boyfriends, hey, you need to go to the doctor.
Oh, you're exactly right. Yeah, I can't count how many times I've heard that, hey, my wife's finally made me come in. And guess what? We come to find out that this gentleman might have diabetes, high blood pressure, and if we'd have seen him maybe 2 or 3 years before, we could have talked about, hey, let's talk about preventing this point before we need to start these heavy medications.
Okay. When is it the right time? There must be an age where men need to start thinking about taking care of their health. Forget fitness and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
I mean going to the doctor, having prostate checks, having testicular cancer checks, colonoscopies.
Sure.
Where are we at with that? Where should we really start?
Well, let's start with just general routine prevention. So I'll start with that one. It used to be that men didn't really come under the care of a doctor until they were in their late 30s or early 40s. That was just a traditional thing, and that's a mindset that somewhat still carries over. The truth of the matter is we really need to start seeing doctors much earlier than we think about it for the preventative care. It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
But in general, it's a lot sooner than most people think.
Okay.
Let's say you've got a family history of diabetes, high cholesterol, and maybe dad had his first heart attack when he was 56 years old. We see that a lot in the state of Kentucky.
Is that due to an unhealthy lifestyle or smoking, drinking too much bourbon? Maybe that could keep the cobwebs away, who knows?
Maybe a little bit, It's everything in moderation, right, Troy?
I got you.
So it's a lot of things. There's a big genetic factor too. So there's a lot of diabetes in our state. And because of that, we also have a somewhat sedentary lifestyle. That's a common thing around the United States nowadays. The combination of those two things are deadly, though. And we've got patients who we see start screening at 20 years of age who have triglycerides and cholesterol that's just through the roof. And a little bit of counseling a little bit of lifestyle changes, sometimes medications, sometimes supplements. All those things come into play to really get that person healthy.
I got you. Well, Dr. Jeremy, we want to talk more. We're going to get you back into the studio. We appreciate your time today. Girls, back to you in the studio, and guess what? It's all about men's health, everyone, over here at Mr. Cuts. My little buddy over there, JP, we're going to be chatting to him soon about what he hears in the seat when all the men are sitting down having their beard and haircuts. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Troy. We'll check back in for some more important tips coming up in the show. But, you know, it's all about the men out there, but it's all about the ladies here on the Midday Kentucky set. So thank you for joining us here for Midday. We want to get into our table talk. And, Lisa, I had to bring up this topic to get your opinion, especially having young boys as well. I want to know if you think this is a double standard. So there's a model in Texas that she just recently made headlines with an Instagram post. You watch Stranger Things, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, she's 27 years old, and she posted on Instagram a post asking the 14-year-old star, Finn Wolfhard, to hit her up in 4 years. Post a picture of him, hit me up in 4 years.
Wow.
Do you think if this was a 27-year-old man who posted a picture of a 14-year-old girl saying, hit me up in 4 years, there would be more outrage about this? I don't know. What do you think? I think that's
completely
creepy.
Creepy. I think it is too. I think it's creepy. You know, I can see like maybe doing something like that if you were like in high school and that person was like, you know, maybe in 8th grade, 9th grade, you know, something like that. But to be 27 and throwing that out
there. You know, I'm 28 and I would not post online asking not even a teen, a young teen to hit me up. I don't know, that seems really inappropriate. Do you think that there is an age? Because how old is your oldest?
My oldest is 13.
So he's
in that age range. Yeah.
And
oh, I would kill. I would. Isn't that terrible? I'm such a protective mom. But yeah, as a mom, I would be floored by that, actually. You know, again, age-wise, I think that if it was somebody maybe in you know, maybe a couple years older, you know, than them. So if it was like a 15, 16-year-old maybe. But 27 is so creepy. I think it's horrible.
I know. And then a lot of people were saying they're overreacting, that this is not sexualization of children. And I think, I mean, it is, right?
It is.
Do you think?
Yes, and you were absolutely right. If the tables were turned, if this was a man that had posted that about a young girl like that, everybody would be outraged by it completely.
Especially in this day and age. I think there'd be an investigation into that man. So I think, you know, women should be held accountable for that as well.
I think so too.
How you should be addressing young boys, because that's also showing them how you interact with adults, and they're getting into those romantic relationships. And I just think it's creepy.
Yeah, I mean, teachers are that age. You know, I mean, they're teaching kids that age. It's just, you need to just stay away from it, people.
All right. So we both agree a little bit of a double standard. It's creepy. You shouldn't do it.
Don't do it.
Well, your topic, Lisa, if you're on a date with someone your own age, you have something pretty interesting lies being told on a date.
So I came across
I'm guilty of some of these.
And of course, you know, Katie's in the dating scene right now, so it made me think of you immediately. But when you're on a first date, these are lies that you might tell on a first date. So I wanted, and the ladies out there, you can chime in too on Facebook. But okay, the first one, you lie about your exercise and activity.
Yeah, I think everyone lies about that. But I don't know if it's so much a lie as it is an idyllic vision just of yourself. I think we also perceive ourselves as more active than
what we really are.
Yeah.
Well, the problem when I read that, Katie, I thought, oh yeah, you know, I've definitely been there. But you really don't have to lie about that. You are doing marathons.
No.
You're doing Girls on the Run. You're doing all these activities. So you are exercising.
So the problem is, I think I count Girls on the Run as a workout for myself. But since I'm coaching, I'm handing out their lap counters and cheering them on. We did a practice 5K yesterday. And later I thought, oh, I deserve this dessert. I did the practice 5K, but really I didn't run any of it. I was just cheering them on.
It still counts.
I think it's not an intentional lie about your fitness.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's try this one. Vacations, travel. Now, again, Miss Katie over here is the world traveler, so she doesn't have to lie about this on a first date. But have you in the past maybe made yourself seem a little bit more of a world traveler than what you might really be?
I haven't lied about this, but I think that people lie about how often they like to travel,
Yeah.
even just to sound more spontaneous and mysterious. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think so too, and I know that I kind of stretched the truth a little bit when I went to Mexico back in college. I went to Cancun.
Okay.
And we ended up staying in a nice place, but our original place that we were going to stay at was a youth hostel.
Okay.
And we didn't know what it was going to be like back then. We didn't have the internet to search it. So yeah, it was kind of a dive at the time, and so we had to abandon that idea and go with.
And you told everyone you were at a 5-star all-inclusive.
Yes, exactly. So that was my stretch on dating. Okay, so here's the next one then, an absent parent, and this one was interesting because this is looking at if, and it's not that you are an absent parent or that there is a significant other, it's looking at whether your parent has been absent in your life. And they said that, or it could be that you're raising a child and there is an absentee dad involved.
Yeah.
So this is something that they said it wasn't really a lie per se. They're saying that it's more of a slow reveal, that women are not apt to be able to bring this out right out of the gate on a date, that this is something like a slow reveal. What do you think about that? Would you be open
I don't think
to
that's
discussion?
That's a lie, but actually I think women are more forthcoming about darker things and within their own family or struggles they have than men. I think you can find out way down the road that a man is struggling with something like that. So I just think that's kind of leading with your positives on the first date. And what if you never see this person again? You don't want to lead with your deepest, darkest, feelings or struggles.
Oh, come on. We might as well just throw it right out there.
Right? I don't know. So, I mean, that makes sense. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think men do tend to kind of hold back closer to the cuff than what women do. Women are, at least for me, I feel like I really do kind of throw it out there. I probably would be throwing all of that out on a first date if I really don't like the guy.
Yeah,
and then,
that's
of course,
true.
I would chase him away. But for some reason, Doug stayed around, so I'm glad that he did that.
All right, perfect.
Okay, and then the next one is, and this was interesting, mealtime. So whether or not you lie about what you're eating and what you like to eat or what you're going to eat for dinner with that date on that date.
Yeah, this is definitely true. But I don't think that it's really a lie. I just think you're putting your best foot forward.
Right. Well, and that's, they said
maybe you want to eat a salad, but you're really going to have a burger.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. I eat. I like to eat, so I'm all out there with it. But they said sometimes women do eat ahead of time before the date, so that they eat less during the date or they'll eat very little because they're so nervous.
Yeah, I think it's more nerves. I know there's always that joke in movies or TV shows where the woman will have a crouton from the salad and say, "Oh, I'm not hungry." But I don't think people really do that on dates. I think you don't eat a lot when you start dating someone because you're so nervous. I don't think it's trying to look like you don't eat.
Right.
Because I don't think that's attractive.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I think eating. I think the dinner part is kind of sexy to me.
Yeah.
Back when Doug and I were dating, I remember, I don't know, I just thought it was kind of, I liked being in that moment with him, just, it was very one-on-one, and we're eating, we're not worried about, oh, I'm eating a salad leaf or something like that, you know what I mean? I just find that attractive. I know exactly what I'm getting, he likes meat and potatoes, he liked it on our first date, and he likes it to this day. That's what he eats.
And what did you eat on the first date?
Pretty much everything. I think we were at a buffet, so I did, and Doug will tell you.
Oh, buffet, that's great. You're the opposite. No need to lie, it's all out there.
I really did, and I ate more than Doug. I went back twice.
Oh, you did?
I went for seconds and thirds, and he only went back for seconds, and he still holds me to that, too, to this day.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, that's me. And then the last one, another love interest.
Okay.
So you're on a date, on a first date with someone. Do you lie about you in a relationship with somebody else, or maybe it's winding down, or maybe you're just not sure about that other person?
Well, I think there's two different words here. Another love interest or relationship. Because if you're in a relationship, you're a cheater, so there are much bigger issues. But, I mean, if you just go on one date with someone, it's fairly, you can presume you're not exclusive with that person.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should be in a relationship. But if you've just been on a couple dates, I don't know, what do you think? I don't think that's a lie.
Right. No, I agree. I think the same thing. I think, back, I always have to go back to when Doug and I were dating. But, we both were dating other people at the time, and when we met, then it kind of, you start kicking those other other relationships or whatever, love interest
Yeah.
to the curb. And you kind of narrow it down to that person that you really care about.
I think that person would seem full of themselves too on a first date if they start talking about other people they're dating. Just leave that out.
Yeah. So that's it. That's my 5 for everyone.
Well, I like those. I'm going to avoid those lies now. Well, stay with us for much more Midday Kentucky. Up next, we're talking about prostate and testicular cancer. Some important things you need to know from Clark Regional Medical Center. They're up after the break. Plus, later in the show, we're back in the kitchen with Allison Davis from Wild Time with a smoked salmon mousse recipe. Interesting.
Really
Stay
good.
with us.